Today on i-Dentity, we hang out with co-founder of the Green Dean campaign, Fatima Ragi. We head to Mamelodi, Tshwane to discover how the benefits of reading are being taught to the youth. What's Happening features the review of an app for nature lovers and a website that offers self-improvement tools. And Nati and Vusinova play us out.
I am an individual with an imagination. My inner faith illuminates innovations. In a space with infinite inspiration, I was born free from all incarceration. Incredible, living infallibly, intelligent, outshine with my inner being. This is me, impeccable as ever been. I am you, you are me. This is my identity.
Molweni namkelekile kwinkqubo ethandwa kakhulu eyenkolo ezahlukeneyo i-Identity khonapha ku SABC 1. Ndinguviwe Gcwala. Congratulations, you made it into a brand new year. As they say, today is the first blank page of a 365-page book, and the i-Dentity team is here to usher you into 2017 with your usual dose of spiritual upliftment and food for your soul. We kick off our New Year's Day episode with a throwback to an interview with a young woman who believes that we all have the ability to change the world. Fatima Ragi is the co-founder of Green Dean South Africa, an initiative that aims to promote environmental consciousness amongst all South Africans. This is how the eye-opening conversation went down. Take a look. Izingxaki zanamhlanje zasemhlabeni zangasonjululwa ngokuba siphakame sisebenze kunye ukwenza umahluko obonakalayo ekuhlaleni. Undwendwe lwethu olwanamhlanje khonapha ku-coffee shop ngumuntu oqongekileyo okholelwa ukuba wonke umuntu angenza lukhulu ukugcina ilizwe lethu. Fatima Ragi is the co-founder of Green Dean South Africa, an initiative that aims to raise awareness and mobilize action towards environmental issues. Her mission is clear: to help protect the environment from destruction. Fatima, welcome to i-Dentity.
Oh, thank you for having me here.
Before we get into the interview, I just want to find out, what kind of childhood did you have?
Quite a normal childhood, I would say.
Okay.
I was born in Johannesburg, 3 years in the cafe business with my parents and them, and then I moved off to Rustenburg, so one of the more farm-like towns compared to Johannesburg. And yeah, normal childhood, growing up in that, 12 years, and then back to Joburg to study at university.
Okay. What role did spirituality have in your childhood, and what role does spirituality have in your life today?
I think being brought up in a house that was quite conservative with Muslim traditions, we were always conscious of our spirituality, always understanding. And I mean, being Muslim, we taught to pray 5 times a day and that. And our understanding of everything around us is based in our religion. So growing up, you always have this connection to your creator, always that. And then when you go and decide, oh, I want to save the environment, you come back into yourself. Why am I saving the environment, and how does this link me to my creator? How does this link me to my religion?
Where did this passion for the environment and environmental issues come from? I mean, I'm looking right now at your, you've got a tag there. And what did it say? Earth Keeper. So you're very passionate about, the environment. Where did that come from?
I think a lot of it is based home environment. My parents themselves always loved the bush. Grandfather always planting the trees in the backyard.
Yeah.
And then obviously reading books and just finding that space, that green space in that. And like I said, grew up in a semi-plas town. So it's always that little space. And then as you grow up, you decide, okay, I need to make this into my career. And you read more, you study more, and then you just grow into it.
So how was Green Dean South Africa formulated?
So at the moment I'm doing my master's degree at Wits University. So after finishing my degree and my honors year, you go back and look at your community and you see this great need there is, that there's no link between what we're practicing and what the text actually says with the environment. And going through the Muslim Students Association, starting off this campaign just to raise awareness. So since its 3rd year of running as a voluntary campaign.
Okay, please explain to us the concept of Deen. What is that and what does it mean?
So Deen, often people translate it as meaning religion. So you'll say my Deen is Islam, my Deen is Christianity, my Deen is Hinduism. But when you go back, this, while it is obviously connotated to an Islamic word, it's actually a much older word and it's more encompassing. It's more your way of life. So it's just spirituality, what you do and everything. And this is what it is. So when you say Green Dean, it's this whole way of life that's actually linked to the environment.
You spoke about something very profound. You said that you have a connection to God and you also have the same connection to the environment. So what role does spirituality have with the environment? What relationship does the role have?
I think in the world today, we are always given this very clinical, scientific perspective on our relationship with the environment. I mean, issues from climate change, and that has become a very a cultural thing. But when you look at the movements, frantically what's happening at the moment is we're not seeing success in the environmental debate without people's going back to the culture. The way you live, the way you think, it's all your culture. So the only way you're going to get people to care and actually return to their culture is the environment. And this link with your creating, that it's been here from the old days, and we now modern times have lost it. So it's just going back to what we were, what we've come from.
How do we, especially as young people, because we're so naive when it comes to environmental issues, how do we start to give back and actually, do well in terms of environmental issues?
I think the very first thing that, and people ask this a lot, is how do you start off? And I think the very first thing we need to do is start with our inner environment and the inner connection. Because if you as a person aren't in contact with your environment, you're not going to go anywhere. So find that religio-spirituality. Look, when you walk outside, remember to look at the clouds and say, you know what? My Lord is out there, my Creator is out there, and He's caring for me. He's designed this whole world, He's running this whole world without any flaws. And I think we as young people just need to find that again, because in this world that's so full of evil, so full of strife, so full of badness. I mean, we're constantly on the platform to try to prove ourselves. We need to return and remember our Creator, remember where we come from, and just become that sure thing. And then from there, right, what can I do? How can I save the environment? How can I recycle? How can I learn to pick up litter? Things of that sort.
So being the change that you want to see.
Exactly.
When you speak about the complexities of the world, I think to myself, what must be the challenges, the prevalent challenges that the world is experiencing when it comes to environmental issues? What are those challenges in the world?
I think the very, very first thing that we're at the moment now, and it's actually, in my mind, it's something that we as an average citizen need to take into account, is our problem with waste. I mean, have you ever driven outside and just looked at the amount of plastic bags and that flying around? You can't walk anywhere without stuff.
It's bad, yeah.
And I think this is something that's a personal responsibility for all of us. Number one, we have to make sure when we buy things, we buy in less. Buy less packets. Just try. You'll be surprised. There's small ways you can just reduce your waste. And then realize that, you know what, I can take a walk on the street and fill a packet with dirt, and I'm doing my bit. This is my charity to the environment. So I think that's like one thing. The second thing is then taking awareness of bigger campaigns. I mean, there's issues like climate change, where our imprint on the environment is changing the weather. And we know this is affecting the poor more than anyone else. How are we going to do our bit for that? Raising awareness, from rhino poaching to pangolin poaching to what's happening to the plants in the nature reserve down the street. We need to find that connection. How can we do it? And a lot of the environmental movement, we need to know a lot of global knowledge, but our impact is also very local. And I mean, we tend to forget this. Yes, we're signing up for the rhino poaching in Kruger Park, but in my local park, is there something I can do?
You are, a new definition of game changer. So how do we inspire the change that we want to be in the world?
A lot of the place when you sit back, and I think you need to find that spot where you're comfortable in. We can't all be the same kind of superheroes. The world needs different superheroes, and we need to find that space. You need to find people that care for you. You need to find people that you're comfortable speaking to. I mean, we go around looking around us, so find those friends that make you feel good about yourself. That's very important as well. Equipment yourself. This world is big. The internet is at our fingertips. Find things to cover. Instead of doing something, do something small, learn something new every day. We need to do that. We need to read. And this is what I'm saying. You need to pick up an old-fashioned book and read it from start to the beginning. You'll be surprised how this changes your mindset in life. Whether it can be Harry Potter or it can be a serious novel. Start reading.
So speaking about reading, I've got a quick word game for you. It's true or false. You need to answer as quickly as possible with either the word true or false.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Your first question. A goldfish has a memory span of about 8 seconds. True or false?
False.
That's true, actually it's false. Ants have the biggest brains amongst all insects.
True.
Google was originally called Gaggle.
False.
Lemons contain more sugar than strawberries.
True.
The Atlantic Ocean is the biggest ocean on the earth.
True.
That's actually false. It's the Pacific Ocean. Mona Lisa, the famous painting from Da Vinci, does not have eyebrows. In that time, it was fashion. True or false?
True.
Snakes are deaf.
True.
Zakumi is a singer famous for the hit song Genie in a Bottle.
False.
Wow, I am so impressed with you. You got all the questions right except for one.
The oceans one.
Yes, the oceans one, yes. Thank you so much for joining us. We had so much fun with you on Identity.
Thank you.
The effects of climate change, global warming, and modernization are proving to be a disastrous combination when it comes to matters of our environment. So it's comforting to see young people like Fatima fighting against environmental apathy. May this be the year where you also stand up and make an effort to find out how you can lessen your ecological footprint in and around your community. Lixesha lokuba siya esivenkileni, emva koko sibone ibali lethu lanamhlanje. Namhlanje siya eMamelodi eTshwane kumsitho wokuphuhlisa imfundo. Kwaye ningaphoswa sisiqendu sethu semedia review esibonisa i-app yaseMzantsi Afrika ebonisa umlando kwaye newebsite eza kumkhuthaza ebomini. Siyabuya ngoku.
This is my identity. This is my identity.
Welcome back to Identity, the nation's favorite multi-faith youth show right here on SABC 1 Mzansi for sure. I'm Viwekwala. Thank you for staying tuned. Statistics show that only 14% of South Africans are active book readers. With this disappointing figure in mind, a group of literature lovers started Long Story Short, a project that seeks to prove that reading enriches the mind and the soul. Our team decided to take a leaf out of their book and join them at one of their events, and this is what they came back with.
This is my identity.
It is said that reading enriches the mind and the soul, opening up a whole world of possibilities. Today, the Identity team is in Mamelodi, Pretoria, to witness an initiative that uses the written word to tap into a higher sense of enlightenment. Long Story Short is a literature revitalizing production which aims to celebrate and elevate African writers and their work by producing free podcasts.
My name is Marcelo Motana and I am the host of all the Long Story Short sessions. In today's digital world, we felt that it was important to bring up the level of African writers, because when you look online for podcasts, you don't find a lot of African writers. And for me, if someone is not in tune or has not been exposed to African literature, it's missing out on a whole catalog, that can expose you to different people's experiences on the continent, because there isn't this generic, there's different parts of the continent and different types of writers. So we felt that it was important to bring this large archive into a digital platform. Today we're going to read a Nigerian story. It's going to be read by Juanita Adams, who's a very accomplished performer. And what I love about the readings is that the different performers have brought different energies. Like the previous reading, it was Kulus Kenjana reading a story by Tandom Kolozana, which was really sad. So at the end of the session, everyone was feeling so sad, And then the month before, we had a funny story with lots of twists and turns by Nick Mhlongo, with the audience laughing and reacting in a certain way. So when you go through all the podcasts, you'll see that there's quite different shades of literature.
At the end of that day, he and I agreed that if we saw each other on the street somewhere, it would be okay to greet, but not much else.
So the format of Long Story Short is that we have approached some of our most capable performers, whether they are TV, theater or film performers, to come through and read a short story in front of an audience, and the story is then recorded and packaged into a podcast. We've chosen familiar faces because how do you get someone who's not interested in literature or books? This is our own subversive way of trying to attract young people through using celebrity storytellers, as we call them. This is an interesting way for me to start paying more attention to the space of books and literature and expression, particularly African literature, which is our focus.
Long Story Short is for me very, very exciting, and I'm thrilled to be part of the team. I was invited to come on board as a curator and help collate 24 stories initially by authors from the continent and put together for the collection. And I don't know, I think it's exciting. For me, it feels like a bit of a revolution or movement. And really our job is to just keep rolling and keep gathering and, getting a crowd around us for what we're out to do. and have people see what's possible from reading and sharing stories and meeting authors and engaging with this creativity.
South Africa is confronted with the challenge of illiteracy. This challenge calls for tough interventions to get South Africans to read. Long story short is an attempt to develop an informed society going forward.
Through reading, one has a better understanding of other spiritual practices, religions, ancestral practices. For example, the Yoruba system of the gods and shrines and priestesses. I would never know that had I not read certain Nigerian books, or the Sudanese writer Leila Abu Leila, who speaks about her experience as a Muslim woman. So it opens you up, and I think it makes you more tolerant. Whatever your chosen practice is, then you're more tolerant of other people's practices.
I love reading. Let's start there. I love reading. I think there's just so much more in each and every individual that we could discover, apart from the things that are already commercialized and things that are out there in the media. I feel that with interacting, we interact with other humans through learning about their minds. I'm a very intellectual person. I fall in love with people because of their minds, their brains, their intelligence. So if I can get a piece of that, and engage with other people on what they think of other people's ideas and what they think of other people's intellectual property, that makes me very glad. So I'm going to keep on coming to these readings because I love reading, because I love interacting with people on that basis.
And pull out a flimsy stack of cards.
We're trying to inspire young people to be comfortable with expressing their opinions, and writing is the most basic form of expression. I mean, even the Bible says it began with the word. Long story short, is a very simple way of introducing this quest of ideas and expression through African literature. I think it's so important for us to try to find solutions or try to find inspiration through stories.
This is my identity.
Enkosi kwiqela le long story short ngomsebenzi omhle. Kutheni ngalolonga ingqondo yakho uziqhelisa ukufunda incwadi kanye ngenyanga? What helpful reading habits have you successfully implemented in your life? Share them with us by tagging Identity TV Show on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. You can also email identitytvshow@gmail.com. Let's take one more quick break. If you love learning about and identifying trees, and if you're all about self-improvement, then don't miss today's media review segment. See you in a moment.
This is my identity. This is my identity.
Nisabukele inkqubo ezimisela ukunika ukutya komoya khonapha ku SABC 1. Nibukele i-Identity, ndinguviwe Gcwala. Enkosi ngokuhlala nathi. We're well into today's episode, having kicked off the show on an eco-conscious note with Green Dean SA co-founder Fatima Ragi. We then headed to Mamelodi to discover how the benefits of reading are being taught to the youth. Now it's time to take a look at today's media reviews. This is What's Happening. As you know, we all have a responsibility towards protecting and preserving our environment. What better way to start than with increasing your knowledge of the flora that surrounds you? Today we're featuring a tree identification app that's sure to come in handy as you embark on or continue with your environmental preservation journey. It's called eTrees of Southern Africa. eTrees of Southern Africa is an app that provides useful information on the various tree species that are found in the Southern African region. Familiarize yourself with how the app works by selecting the Introduction and Help option. Once you've read through the handy guidelines, you can then return to the homepage, then swipe right for access to the menu. For a list of the featured tree species according to the groups that they fall under, select the Taxonomy tab. The app also offers the option to view the trees in alphabetic order and a family listing or a species listing. Search for trees as per their leaf or stem characteristics via the Group Search tab. For a list of species endemic to a specific location, select the My Location tab. Each tree data listing provides a detailed description of the plant, a map that shows the region where the plants may be found, and color photographs to help make identification easier. Want to keep track of the species that you've cited? Then simply select the My List tab. Here you can input data such as the location of the sighting, the date, and a few comments for future reference. For a list of trees according to their scientific names, select the Scientific Synonyms option. Learn more about the flora in your community with the help of the interactive eTrees of Southern Africa field guide. I already have a few trees in mind that I want to learn more about, so I'll definitely be making use of the app. Now on to our next review, which is a website that provides tools for self-improvement and personal development. Definitely a great way to start the year. Check out www.personalsuccesstoday.com. Created by author, speaker, and digital media creator John W. Richardson, personalsuccesstoday.com is a personal development and productivity website that provides tools to help you manage your time sufficiently and set attainable goals. The homepage offers quick links to articles on personal success, planning tools, and goal setting. If you're keen to start blogging, or if you're a regular blogger but need some tips on how to get more traffic to your blog, then select the Blog tab. Sign up to the Personal Success newsletter and get access to productivity templates by clicking on the Free tab. Find out more about the website, its creator, and some of his writings by selecting the About tab. If you're an entrepreneur and are looking for guidance on how to approach matters such as branding, creativity, leadership, and technology, the Business tab will come in handy. Click on the Communication tab for links to articles on presentation, speaking, marketing, or social media. Nurture your physical, mental, and spiritual states using articles that give advice on time management, productivity, fitness, or sleep by selecting the Personal Development tab. For access to tools that will help you reach your full potential, visit personalsuccesstoday.com. Sifike ekugqibeleni kwenkqubo yanamhlanje eyonyaka omtsha. Bekumandi ukuchitha imizuzu ema-34. Ningalibali ukumane nisithumela imiyalezo yeencoko ezigqithileyo. Ningasifumana kuFacebook, kuTwitter okanye kuInstagram. Funani nje u-Identity TV Show. Ningasithumela i-email ku-identitytvshow@gmail.com. Today we play out with a duet from golden-voiced Xhosa vocalists Nathi and Vusinova. Here's their song titled Noma Kanjani. From me, Viwe Gwala, and the Identity team, goodbye and God bless.
Ndivuke kuseni ndincumile ngenxa yothando lwakho ndiyoyika ukubuza nesithuko sakho mhlawumbe siyazalana mntanomntu ngabo mphethe ngayo izolo isithathile isigqibo akanjani